if you look on this left side here, right, you'll see there's an order monitor menu. So I'm going to open that up and I'm going to pin it. So, and let's shrink this back here. So this order monitor menu, it has some controls in it. If you look at the top, there's a global break even. There's a global auto trailing on and off. And I can show you what these things do here in just a minute. So let's see, the market's been, I'll just take a long trade here. Why not? All right, so a long trade. Okay, so once we're in a trade, right, you can see that basically this order monitor, it comes alive here. So we can see, our blue entry order, it was filled, and we can see the price, right? We can see the price of profit target and the stop loss. But also these controls are now enabled. And so if you want to manually manage your stop loss, if you notice, it says auto trailing is on, right? If you can see where my cursor's at, auto trailing is enabled. Well, if I grab my stop loss and move it, it disables the auto trailing, right? So now, so the auto trailing, it had to be disabled, otherwise, your stop loss would just go right back up to where it's at, right? So let me enable the auto trailing again, enable it, right? Now, the stop loss doesn't have any active trailing rules, right? It doesn't have any active trailing rules until it goes to break even. So if we take a quick look at the trailing rules here, right? So here's the trailing rules for that stop loss. The 10-tick trailing, the trailing part of it, it doesn't turn on until we get 12 ticks of profit. Right. So right now there are no active trailing rules, until the break even. So we can see the break even trailing rule here. It's gonna trigger once we get 10 ticks in profit. All right, that'll fire off the first trailing rule, and then once we get to 12 ticks in profit, the 10 tick trailing will then start executing. Yeah. So for now. And while I was talking, we could see that actually my stop loss moved to break even on us. Right, so now the trailing is active, right? So let's do something here. Let's create a little example here. So let me get my profit target way out of the way, and I will move the trend. I'll move the trend up here so we can get our stop loss to start trailing. And so what I want to demonstrate is the auto trailing here. Like if I lock it, I can lock it, which means the trailing cannot be disabled now. So let's wait until the stop loss starts trailing again. Let's see, a few more ticks and it should start trailing. We'll just have to be patient here. And there we go. All right, so the stop loss started moving. Right, there it goes. So if I pull this back, it's going to fairly quickly snap right back, right? So because I've locked the auto trailing on for it, right? So I really can't override it, not for very long. As soon as the market, makes another profitable move, bingo, right? It's going to snap it right back. So the stop loss, it'll stay pulled back as long as the market's not making a profitable move, right? So as long as the market's not locking it, not making more profit, then that trailing rule is not getting activated, right? The trailing rule only activates when additional profit gets made. So my stop loss will stay down here, but as soon as the market keeps moving up and capturing more profit, from before, then my stop loss is going to snap right back here. So, but of course, if I unlock it, I can unlock the settings and then move my stop loss around wherever I want. And then once I'm kind of done, and I want the automatic trailing to kick in again, then all I need to do is I can turn it on there. So, or I could also hit the global auto trailing, hit that as well, and that would turn on the trailing for all the order sets. So if I had a couple of multiple different order sets, the global auto trailing will turn the auto trailing on for all the order sets. So, right. But of course, I just have one simple order set here: one profit target, one stop loss. So, some other things you could do, like if I pull my stop loss down again, I've got the break even button, so I could hit, the global break even button, or hit the individual break even button. Let's see, let's set this to break even +1. So I have manual control. If I pull my stop loss down, I can hit the break even button at any time, and bingo, you can see my stop loss moves to break even like that. So you've always got full control, over your trailing here. So yeah, and one of the enhancements we did a while back is that let me neutralize the trend here. So yeah, let me get the trailing turned back on. There we go. Now, if I move my profit target, it's not going to affect the trailing. And the reason why is because my profit target doesn't have trailing built in. But you can actually build trailing rules into your profit target. That is possible. Now, obviously, you wouldn't think of profit target trailing the same way that you would stop loss trailing. But if there were trailing rules set up, then if I move my profit target, it would turn off the auto trailing. So when you manually move an order, if it has trailing rules created, then it will turn off the auto trailing automatically. So to actually see an example here, right? So let me open up the profit target. And you can see there is a trailing actions tab here. So, and it's turned off, right? So there is no trailing capabilities for this profit target here, but if it was turned on and a rule was created, then, if I did move my profit target, it would turn off the auto trailing for both the profit target and the stop loss.